So let's look at the last aspect of this topic called money and inflation, which is deflation. Deflation is a direct opposite of inflation. Deflation is the persistent fall in general price level of goods and services in a country, and it occurs as a result of decrease in money supply in an economy. And when there's deflation, the value of money increases in a country. Now, let's look at the causes of deflation. What are the things that can bring about deflation in any country? Number one is operating a budget surplus. If government operates budget surplus, it will reduce expenditures of the government, leading to decrease in the quantity of money in circulation. And when there's decrease in quantity of money in circulation, price level of goods and services will fall drastically, which will bring about deflation in a country. So let's look at number two is excess of supply of goods over demand in a country. If the supply of goods and services is greater than demand for goods and services in a country, it means that it will force price of goods and services down. And when price of goods and services falls, it means that there will be deflation. So one of the reasons why we have inflation is because of increase in demand for goods. And when there's excess demand, it will make price to go up. All right. So when there is excess supply, price of commodities will fall. Number three is increase in bank rates. An increase in bank rates will discourage borrowing in a country by individuals, firms, and government. And this will make the money, this will lead to a fall in money supply that will result into deflation. Bank rates is the rate at which central bank lend to other banks, and it determines their lending rates to customers. So when there's increase in bank rates, all right, people will be reluctant to borrow money. And when people are reluctant to borrow money, the money circulation will reduce, and it will make the price level of goods and services to fall. Number four is increase in production. If there's increase in production of goods and services in a country, all right, there's no scarcity of goods, all right, price of goods and services will fall in a country, and it will lead towards deflation. Number five is increase in tax rates. Increase in tax rates will reduce consumption expenditures of individuals. It will also reduce investment expenditures of firms or companies, which will lead to decrease in money supply in a country that will force the price level of goods and services down in the country. So let's look at ways of solving deflation in a country or solutions to deflation. Number one is deficit financing. All right, don't forget that deflation is persistent fall in general price level of goods and services. And what causes it? Because the money supply in a country has reduced. So ways of solving deflation is by deficit financing. Deficit financing is a kind of budget that will enable expenditure to be greater than income of the government. So if government wants expenditure to be greater than what income, government will need to finance it by borrowing. When government borrows from people within the country and people outside the country, like countries or multilateral creditors, all right, in that way, expenditure will be greater than what income. It will stimulate aggregate demand in a country, which will increase the money supply in an economy, and it will solve the problem of deflation. Number two is reduction in bank rates. When there's reduction in bank rates, it means that the lending rate of banks to customers will fall. And when it falls, people will be willing to take loan to finance their projects. And when people continue to take loans like that, the multiplier effect will bring about increase in money circulation. And when there's increased money circulation, price level of goods and services will increase, which will solve deflation in the country. Next is reduction in tax rates. Reduction in tax rates will increase disposable income of individuals, and it will increase profit of firms, and this will bring about increase in consumption expenditures of individuals. It will also bring about increase in investment of firms, and this will increase the money circulation that will make prices of goods and services to increase, which will solve the problem of deflation. Number next is increase in government expenditure. Anything that makes government to increase expenditures on infrastructural facilities, expenditures of government on purchases to balance the economy or to promote economic activities in a country. This will bring about increase in quantity of money in circulation that will make prices of goods and services to increase, which will solve deflation problem in the country. Number next is reduction in supply of goods. When there's reduction in supply of goods, it means that demand for goods and services will be greater. And anything that makes excess demand to occur in a country or demand to be greater than supply, it means the price of goods and services will increase, which means money supply will also increase. And this will solve deflation problem in a country. Let's look at the effects of deflation in a country. Number one, during deflation, fixed income earners gain during deflation because they receive fixed amount of money and the price level of goods and services has fallen. So they'll be at an advantage. Number two is that it leads to increase in the value of money. So because of deflation, leads to a persistent fall in price of goods and services, value of money will increase. So value of money usually increase during deflation. Number next is that borrowers lose during deflation because when they borrow, all right, they are going to return an amount in which the value is higher at the time they want to return it. Number next is a lender or creditors. They gain during deflation because when their money is returned to them, all right, the money serves a higher value than what it used to be. Number next is that it encourages exportation of goods. All right. So when you export during deflation, the value becomes higher, and deflation discourages importation of goods because when you import during deflation, you find out that the value, all right, is higher. The price you are paying for the commodities is higher, so it discourages what importation of goods.